In this lesson, we're going to take a look at the Pro Tools Mixer and explain the differences between inserts and sends. It's good practice to color code your mixer. That way, when you're looking at your session, you know that all the drums are going to be in one color and all the instruments are going to be in a different color. And the way to do that is very easy. You just choose the track that you want, double click on the color pane, and then choose from any one of these colors. If you want to select multiple tracks, hold Shift, select them, and then choose a color that you like. So we'll close that. And there are 4 track types in Pro Tools that are the most common. One is audio tracks, which is displayed by this waveform. The next is instrument track, which is displayed by this keyboard. Another one is the master track, which is displayed by this icon. And lastly is going to be the auxiliary track, which we'll create right now. So on this lead vocal track, here on the sends, I'm going to click on this empty area. And I'm going to choose new track. I'm going to create a stereo aux input, and we'll call it reverb. There it is. And the auxiliary track is displayed by this down arrow because it's receiving signal from somewhere else. So let me give you the first example. Let's say that we wanted to apply reverb to these vocals. Let's listen to what the vocals sound like first. Making a selection and soloing them.
There was once a time, call the simple days.
So on this auxiliary track, we're going to go to Inserts A, choose Reverb, and select Deverb, which is the standard Pro Tools Reverb plugin. On every plugin that you load up in Pro Tools, whether it's a stock plugin or a third-party plugin, you're going to see these options. Preset, it's going to be a list of presets that come with the plugin. In this case, let's go for a large hall dark, and then we can also adjust the settings afterwards. So we'll bring our Sense A again, where we can feed signal from the vocal into the reverb. But you're going to notice something, that as I crank this up, you're not going to hear the reverb return, and I'll tell you why.
There was once a time, call the simple days.
It's sending signal to the reverb, and the reverb meters are picking it up, and it's also returning the signal on the auxiliary. But because this track is not soloed, you're not hearing it. Now, it's very common that on auxiliary tracks, you want to put them on solo safe. By doing that, you're going to choose Command on the computer keyboard or Control on a PC and clicking on the solo button, and it indents it. Now it's on solo safe mode. Now you'll be able to hear the signal coming through it.
There was once a time, call the simple days.
And while this is playing back, I can toggle through these presets and find the right sound that I'm looking for.
There was once a time, call the simple days, when I would run and laugh and dance and play the entire day. There was once a time, called the innocence.
So that's a pretty decent level. It's not overdone. And at this point, what I can do is I can apply that same Sense A to other instruments. So if we play back our music, you're also going to hear the shaker and you're going to hear the acoustic guitar.
There was once a time, called the simple days.
So let's apply some reverb to the acoustic guitar. Because that sense is already created on our vocals, we're going to hold Option or Alt on a PC and click and drag that to the acoustic guitar. Now I have independent volume feeding the reverb from the acoustic guitar to that reverb.
There was once a time, called the simple days, when I would run and laugh and...
Let's do the same thing for the shaker. Again, using Option, we're going to duplicate this. And now we can adjust the send from the shaker to the reverb.
There There was once a time, called the simple days.
If you want a quick way to compare the before and after, because all these scents are on insert slot A, you can hold the command button or control on the PC and mute it on individual tracks. But if you use option and command, then you can mute it across the entire row. So when it's on, it's gray, and when it's bypassed, it's blue. And let's compare the before and after.
There was once a time, called the simple days, when I would run and laugh and dance and play the entire day.
So by using a reverb plugin on an auxiliary track, I'm able to send multiple tracks to that same reverb and share that reverb across multiple tracks. So now let's talk about inserts. With inserts, think of effects that you're going to use to change the tone of the sound. So if you think about your car stereo, you might have bass, mid, and treble. So in a way, when you apply an equalizer, you have similar controls, but it's a little bit more sophisticated. You have bass right here represented by this low band, treble, and mid. However, with the mid, you can sweep the frequency and adjust where you want to boost or cut, and also the shape of that using the bandwidth, as well as filters to completely eliminate information on the low end as far as the bass frequencies, or the high end, which are the treble frequencies. So it's much more sophisticated. Let's go ahead and click compare. Let's just take a quick example. Let's say that these vocals are good, but they're a little bit too sharp, too edgy sounding. So we're going to try to find that frequency and notch it down a little bit. Let's go ahead and solo it and play it back.
There was once a time, called the simple days, when I would run and laugh and dance and play the entire day. There was once a time.
So let's pretend that this area of the vocal is a little bit too sharp. What we can do is we can bring the gain down just at that frequency and notch it down a bit so that it's a little bit smoother.
There was once a time, called the simple days.
Let's also imagine that the vocals are a little bit too bright, so we want to bring the treble down. For that, we're going to use a high frequency and bring the gain down, or we can use the dot here and also just sweep it across until we eliminate what we don't want.
There was once a time, called the simple days.
This is before.
When I would run and laugh and dance and play the entire day.
And after.
There was once a time.
Next, let's apply some compression. And this is typically used when you want to control the dynamics of something, of a vocal or an instrument. So on this particular compressor, the BF76, the way it works is that when you crank up the input, it feeds more signal into the compressor. And you're going to see this meter going the opposite direction. That's showing you how much compression is being applied.
There was once a time, called the simple days, when I would run and laugh and dance and play the entire day. There was once a time, called the innocence.
So by using EQ and compression, we were able to affect or change the tone of that track. Versus using a sense, we were able to feed that signal to an effect like a reverb, or you can even think of this like a delay or a chorus or a flanger. And those are the two most common ways of deciding whether to use an inserts or a sense in the mixer in Pro Tools.